Okay, welcome everybody. This is Big Sky Crypto, and I've got a Bitcoin update. Haven't done one in years. Just thought I'd go ahead and hopefully, I'm going to try to keep this kind of short. Hopefully it'll be a quick one. Um, Chart we're looking at right here is the daily chart of Bitcoin. It's a live price chart. Bitcoin, since it set the all-time high in March, I think it was March 14th, has been in a slight downtrend, just kind of grinding down. We've had a series of lower lows, lower highs, which we recently, hopefully, are starting to break out of. We had this low here on August 5th, which I believe was the lowest low that we've had since March. And here on September 6th, you can see we put in this low, which is a higher low. And then recently, on this 27th of September, we set this higher high, taking out this high from August 25th. So hopefully this is the start of us breaking out of this downtrend and Bitcoin can start trending higher again. It may, I don't know whether this is going to immediately lead to the post-halving bull market. We could grind sideways for, could be another weeks, another month. But it'd be nice at least to break out of this downtrend. The next big test will be this 68K resistance. We've got back here in July, we're at peaked July 29th right here, but we've got a series of candles here where it was bumping up into that resistance and before we were rejected. So once we push higher here again, that will be the next big test, is pushing through this. We've also got this long-term trend line from the this downtrend that it's been in. So we've got this trend line, this 68K resistance. Hopefully we can push through that eventually. I imagine it's going to take time. We're not just going to just shoot up and push through it. It may even take a few tries. I'd be shocked if it pushed right through on the first attempt. So it's a process. It could take a bit to get through here. Once it does and gets up, the next big resistance probably is at around 72K in that area. There's a pretty good resistance that we failed to push through back months ago. And then obviously the all-time high, breaking above that would be a big accomplishment. I think once Bitcoin accomplishes that, if it can push up and especially set a new all-time high, I think that could trigger a real bull market where then we could really take off. This chart here, it's another daily chart. Instead of candles, I've got a line chart. But this is just showing the kind of consolidation that we've been in since setting the all-time high. You can see it's slight downtrend. There's another, back in 2023, we had another long, this is 6-7 months of consolidation, which started kind of the middle of March of 2023, and Bitcoin finally broke out of that here actually toward the end of October, and actually went on a nice run that was leading up to the spot ETF when they started trading in January, which would be like right in here. After they opened, the spot ETFs started trading got a little bit of a dip, and then we got another leg higher that ultimately went to the all-time high. But that was that's almost 133% increase. So what I'm hoping is we'll get a similar pattern here, where we'll grind up here like we did here and eventually break out. Don't know how much higher we're going to go. Be nice to go at least to 100,000. I mean, if we did go a similar percentage as we did back here, we'd be we'd be looking at about roughly 170,000, which I'm not sure that we're going to go that high. 100,000 would be nice. Somewhere between 100,000 and 150,000 would be, I think, really good. But we'll just have to see. I don't really like making predictions on price and that. I just kind of follow what it's doing, and I mean, I could see 100,000, but we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. I've heard some people on YouTube, some people on Twitter claiming that they believe the all-time high set in March was the peak for this market cycle, and that we're getting a left translated cycle for this market cycle. Typically, pretty much all the other ones have been right translated, where the peak has come after the halfway to 2-year mark. Especially the last two market cycles were pretty much perfect 4-year cycles. So a right translated cycle would be the peak coming after the midpoint or the 2-year mark, and a left translated would be having a peak before that, which obviously this peak in March would be before the 2 years, so that would be a left translated. But I'm not really buying that. I think that we're still on a normal right translated 4-year market cycle, till I see obvious signs that we're not. I think Bitcoin, like I said, is going to break out of this consolidation and push higher. It'll take out this all-time high we set back in March and push higher. So then we'll get a peak sometime after the 2-year mark. Later in 2025, if we're on a typical, which I'd call typical being looking at the last two market cycles, 4-year market cycles, if we're following that same pattern or a similar pattern, I would expect a peak later in 2025, and then kind of a year after that, bear market. And looking at the last few cycles, the bear markets after the peak have been pretty much right 1 year down to the final bear market low. So I would expect something similar to that. Let's see what else. This kind of illustrates the last two market cycles. This is the 2015 to 2019. And this middle one is 2019 to 2022. So this is the peak here in 2017. And then we had the bear market down to the bear market bottom. And the way I'm doing market cycles is bear market bottom to the next bear market bottom. That's the 4-year cycle. And you can see this first one was 1,431 days. And then the next one in 2019 to 2022 was 1,437 days, which to me that's pretty remarkable that they were so close. I mean, you're only talking a difference of 6 days in a 4-year cycle. That's pretty crazy to me, at least. Even some of the intervals, the purple lines are the halving, and then the green is obviously the market cycle peaks. But even the duration of time between these events are somewhat similar. You know, they're not exact, but they're pretty damn close. And then we've got the current market cycle, which, you know, is still a little unknown. This first interval between the bottom in November 2022 to this past halving that just occurred in April was 516 days, which is pretty much in line with these other two. So it'll be interesting to see the durations between like the ultimate peak and then back to the bear market bottom, how it aligns with these two past cycles. Like I said, I'm still, in my opinion, we're still in a 4-year market cycle. So that's what I'm looking at there. Let's see. I've got this chart here, which is other long term. This is a monthly chart showing the entire price history of Bitcoin. And this is the stochastic RSI, this indicator on the bottom. And looking at this, I noticed that between of every single cycle, between month 2 and month 3 after the peak, this indicator has dropped below the 20 level, which is this bottom dotted line. And you can see it happens every single time, which is an indication to me that that's it. The peak's in for that market cycle. And even though it's between month 2 and 3, definitely going down lower, the peak's in, going into bear market, and gonna start over again. But you can see it does it for every single cycle. And this current cycle, since the peak in March, we're already 6 months past that. And the indicator is just barely at this halfway mark, about at the 50 level. So I don't to me, as you can see by my arrows that I put here, where we're at now is more indicative of these areas here. This 2019 area where we had, from the 2018 low, we had this mini bull market the first part of 2019 where I think the price quadrupled from the bottom and then started tapering down here. But we're at a similar position kind of right about in here before the ultimate bull market in 2020 and 2021. And then also back here in 2013, after there was this first peak and then a decent correction, but we're kind of in this same area before this the final bull market up to the ultimate market cycle peak. To me, that looks like we're in a similar situation as these two here. So I'm like I said, I'm thinking we're going to break out of this consolidation eventually. It might take, like I said, another, who knows, week, 2 weeks. Maybe not till November. Could be a post-election thing where the bull market really takes off. But that's what I'm looking at, is breaking out and we'll get this. You can see where here it came down, came up once we came into the real bull market. This one was more of a little blip, but it definitely came up before finally dropping off. So I'm looking at probably seeing something similar here. It'll curl up before we peak, whenever that is. Sometime, like I said, I'm figuring sometime later in 2025, and then we'll drop down like we have on all these others. So that's what I'm looking at. Once I saw this, it kind of gives me some confidence that we aren't, the peak in March wasn't the peak. It was just, we set a new all-time high basically, I think because of the spot ETF, Bitcoin ETF approvals, and then the hype going into those ultimately opening for trading in January. That hype, I think, is where we got this early quick run up to a new all-time high. And then, like I said, we've been trending lower. So I think that was the catalyst for this doing what it did here as far as that early little bull market. But I think we're just kind of in a consolidation paused period here, and then eventually we're going to break out, go higher again. But we'll just have to see. That's what I'm leaning toward till I see evidence otherwise. And as far as my portfolio, that's how I'm treating it. I'm still accumulating on any dips. I'm still grabbing as much as I can before the ultimate bull market takes off. So that's where I'm at. Just wanted to come on and do kind of a quick Bitcoin update. I guess I could look at this. This table just shows Bitcoin's performance through the years for each month, how it's done. September is one of the worst months, and we actually, this past September, we actually had a green September, which is a good indicator. I think we ended up up 7% for September. But you can see every time we've had a green September, the next 3 months after have done really well. So we'll just have to see. October so far is off to a slow start, but we're only, what's this, the 4th? Today's the 4th of October, so it's super early. We're down a little for the month, but that can turn around really, really quick, and I would expect it to. And we'll just have to see how the rest of this market cycle plays out. I think it's, I'm looking forward to it. I think it could get really crazy. But we'll just have to see. It's hard to tell. Like I said, though, I'm leaning toward, seeing a normal, or what I would call a normal 4-year market cycle, based off the last two. I'm thinking we're going to see something similar. May not line up exactly, but something close to that. Anyway, I think that's about all. I can't think of anything else. Just wanted to come on and do kind of a quick update. And I don't know, I may do another one in a few weeks or month or whatever. If I see Bitcoin breaking out, taking off higher, I may just jump on and do another update. But that's all I got. If you made it this far, I appreciate you taking the time to look at my Bitcoin update, and comment what you think, if I'm wrong or if you agree, and like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you later. Take care.